Have you ever dismissed morning stiffness as just getting older, only to discover years later that simple changes could have prevented years of unnecessary pain? What if I told you that some of the most common beliefs about joint pain and arthritis are not only wrong, but could actually be making your condition worse? I'm talking to you today because the truth is, millions of older adults are suffering needlessly. They've been given outdated or incomplete information about joint health, and it's heartbreaking. Understanding these shocking truths could literally be the difference between living with constant pain and enjoying your golden years with mobility and comfort. Today, I'm sharing 7 shocking truths that doctors are now warning older adults about, truths that challenge everything you thought you knew about joint pain and arthritis. By the end of this video, you'll have the knowledge to potentially transform how you approach joint health. And I have to tell you, truth number 7 might completely change your perspective on what's actually possible for your future. If you're ready to learn the real facts about joint pain that could change your life or the life of someone you love, comment "truth" below and hit that subscribe button for Elderly Health Central, where we bring you evidence-based health information specifically designed for older adults and their families. We cut through the myths and give you the truth that can actually make a difference. Let's dive into what doctors really want you to know. Truth number 1, arthritis pain isn't always worse in the morning. Let me tell you about Susan. She's a 67-year-old grandmother who always felt completely fine in the morning. She'd wake up, make her coffee, tend to her garden, no problems at all. But every single evening, crushing joint pain would hit her like a freight train. When she finally went to her doctor, he initially dismissed her concerns because, and I quote, "Arthritis pain should be worst when you wake up." This misconception, this outdated thinking, delayed Susan's proper diagnosis by 2 full years. 2 years of unnecessary suffering. Here's what's actually happening. While morning stiffness is incredibly common with rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis pain often gets worse throughout the day as our joints become overused. Evening pain can indicate completely different types of arthritis, or even other conditions entirely that have nothing to do with typical arthritis patterns. The problem is that many people, and sadly, even some healthcare providers, assume all arthritis follows the same pattern. This leads to misdiagnosis and inappropriate treatment plans that simply don't work. So here's what you need to do: track your pain patterns in a simple diary. Just note when your pain is worst and what activities seem to trigger it. This information is absolute gold for your healthcare provider, and it could be the key to getting the right treatment. And speaking of tracking symptoms, our second shocking truth reveals why the weather might not be the villain you think it is. Truth number 2, weather changes don't actually cause arthritis flares. Meet Robert. This man swore he could predict rain better than any meteorologist because his knees would ache beforehand. Sound familiar? He avoided activities on cloudy days, missing out on family gatherings, exercise, even simple walks with his wife. Then his doctor shared some surprising research that changed everything. Recent studies show that while barometric pressure changes might affect existing inflammation very slightly, the correlation is much, much weaker than we've been led to believe. So what's the real culprit? It's reduced activity during bad weather that leads to increased stiffness. Think about it, when it's cloudy or rainy, we naturally move less. We stay inside, we sit more, we avoid our usual activities. And guess what happens? Our muscles weaken and our joints stiffen up. The biggest mistake people make is using weather as an excuse to avoid movement. But this actually makes joint pain worse by allowing those supporting muscles to weaken and joints to become even stiffer. Instead of letting weather dictate your activity level, focus on gentle indoor exercises during bad weather days. Your joints will absolutely thank you for this shift in thinking. But here's where it gets really shocking. The third truth challenges one of the biggest myths about joint health. Truth number 3, exercise won't wear out your joints, lack of movement will. Linda was absolutely terrified to exercise after her arthritis diagnosis. "I don't want to wear out my joints," she told her daughter repeatedly. So what happened? After months of inactivity, her pain actually got worse, and her mobility decreased dramatically. When her physical therapist had to break some hard news to her, Linda realized she'd been doing everything backwards. Here's the science: your joints actually need movement to stay healthy. Cartilage, that smooth tissue that cushions your joints, gets its nutrients through movement and compression. Without regular activity, cartilage breaks down faster, not slower. And those supporting muscles that keep your joints stable? They weaken rapidly without use. The "save your joints" mentality creates a devastating downward spiral. Less movement leads to decreased mobility, which leads to increased stiffness, which leads to accelerated joint deterioration. It's the exact opposite of what we want. Start with low-impact activities like water exercise, Tai Chi, or simple walking. Even 15 minutes of gentle movement daily can make a significant difference. Remember, motion is lotion for your joints. Now, if that surprised you, wait until you hear what doctors have discovered about one of the most commonly prescribed treatments. Truth number 4: anti-inflammatory medications might be masking bigger problems. George had been taking NSAIDs, those anti-inflammatory medications, daily for 3 years. His joint pain was manageable, so he thought everything was fine. He was even proud of how well he was managing his condition. During a routine checkup, his doctor discovered something alarming. While those medications were masking his pain, they had been quietly damaging his kidneys and stomach lining. Long-term NSAID use can cause serious side effects including kidney damage, stomach ulcers, and cardiovascular problems. But here's what's even more concerning: masking pain might prevent you from recognizing when joint damage is actually progressing. Many people think that over-the-counter means completely safe for long-term use. Others believe that if pain is controlled, the underlying condition isn't getting worse. Both of these assumptions can be dangerous. Work with your doctor to find the lowest effective dose and explore alternative pain management strategies. Physical therapy, heat and cold therapy, gentle exercise, these approaches address the root cause rather than just masking symptoms. This brings us to perhaps the most shocking truth of all, about a simple nutrient that most people are getting completely wrong. Truth number 5: the calcium joint health connection is backwards. Susan religiously took calcium supplements for her bones and joints, just like her mother had taught her. She was doing everything right, or so she thought. But her joint pain kept getting worse and worse. When she finally saw a rheumatologist, she learned she'd been focusing on the wrong nutrient entirely. While calcium is important for bones, it's actually vitamin D, magnesium, and vitamin K2 that help calcium get where it needs to go. Without these crucial cofactors, calcium can actually deposit in soft tissues, potentially worsening joint inflammation. Imagine that, the very supplement you're taking to help could be making things worse. The mistake most people make is taking isolated calcium supplements without proper cofactors, which creates dangerous imbalances. Many people also completely ignore the importance of vitamin D testing, which is absolutely critical for calcium absorption. Get your vitamin D level tested, this is non-negotiable. Focus on getting calcium from food sources along with magnesium-rich foods like leafy greens. And consider vitamin K2 supplementation, but do this under medical guidance. But nutrition isn't the only area where we've been getting it wrong. The 6th truth reveals a dangerous misconception about pain levels. Truth number 6. No pain doesn't mean no damage. Carol felt proud that she rarely complained about pain. "I have a high pain tolerance," she'd tell friends with a sense of pride. "I don't like to make a fuss." When she finally had X-rays taken during a routine physical, her doctor was absolutely shocked to find severe joint damage that should have been causing significant discomfort. Here's what's happening. Some people naturally have higher pain thresholds, and certain types of arthritis can cause significant joint damage with minimal pain. Additionally, some medications and medical conditions can actually mask pain signals, giving you a false sense of security. The dangerous assumption that less pain means better joint health can lead to delayed treatment and irreversible damage. Some people also avoid medical care because they don't want to seem like complainers, or they think they're being tough by pushing through. Don't use pain as your only indicator of joint health. Get regular checkups, report any changes in mobility or function, and please don't dismiss what seem like minor symptoms. Your future self will thank you. And now for the seventh and most shocking truth, one that could completely change how you think about your future with arthritis. Truth number 7, arthritis progression isn't inevitable, you have more control than you think. When 72-year-old Frank was diagnosed with osteoarthritis, his doctor painted a grim picture. This will only get worse, he was told. Learn to live with it. Frank was devastated. He pictured himself in a wheelchair, dependent on others, losing everything that made life enjoyable. But 5 years later, Frank is more active than he was at the time of his diagnosis. He's hiking, playing with his grandchildren, traveling with his wife. How is this possible? Frank learned that the old, inevitable progression model was completely outdated. Modern research shows us that while arthritis does involve some irreversible changes, the rate of progression and the impact on your quality of life can be significantly influenced by lifestyle factors, early intervention, and proper management strategies. You are not powerless. The old model taught people to accept progressive disability as inevitable. This created helplessness and inactivity that actually accelerated decline. Many people gave up on activities they could still enjoy with proper modifications. Here's what you can do: work with a healthcare team that includes physical therapy. Focus on maintaining muscle strength around your joints. Stay socially active, isolation makes everything worse. And remember that small, consistent actions compound over time. Your future is not predetermined by your diagnosis. These 7 truths reveal just how much misinformation surrounds joint health, but knowledge is power, and that power can transform your relationship with arthritis. I know this information might feel overwhelming, especially if you've been living with joint pain based on outdated beliefs. It's completely natural to feel frustrated or even angry that you weren't told these truths sooner. But here's what I want you to remember. Instead of feeling defeated by past mistakes, you now have the power to make informed decisions about your joint health. Every single day forward is an opportunity to apply these truths and potentially change your trajectory. That's incredibly empowering. If any of these truths resonated with you, I encourage you to have an honest conversation with your healthcare provider. Print out the key points if you need to. You deserve care based on current evidence, not outdated assumptions from decades ago. Living with joint pain doesn't have to mean accepting a diminished life. With the right information and approach, many people find they can live more actively and comfortably than they ever thought possible. Hope is not just wishful thinking, it's based on real science and real results. To recap, we've uncovered 7 shocking truths today. Pain patterns vary by arthritis type, weather isn't the real enemy, movement heals rather than harms, medications can mask bigger issues, calcium alone isn't the answer, pain doesn't always indicate damage, and most importantly, your future isn't predetermined. Which of these truths surprised you most? And here's a question that might spark some interesting discussion. What's one piece of joint pain advice you've received that now seems questionable? Share your thoughts below. Your experience might help another viewer who's going through the same thing. If this video opened your eyes to new possibilities for managing joint health, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Elderly Health Central. We're here to share evidence-based information that can truly make a difference in your life and the lives of your loved ones. Remember, knowledge is the first step toward empowerment. Thank you for taking this journey with me today, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore practical strategies for implementing these truths in your daily life. Stay informed, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward.